How do you ask a man to be the last man to die in Vietnam? How do you ask a man to be the last man to die for a mistake?
Whether you believe in the Vietnam War or not, there were few people in the country who were not moved by a demonstration in Washington 4 weeks ago by the Vietnam veterans against the war. One young man caught the attention of the nation. His name is John Kerry. He came to national attention in his appearance before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee.
We are here to ask, and we're here to ask vehemently, where are the leaders of our country? Where is the leadership? Where are they now that we, the men whom they sent off to war, have returned? These are commanders who have deserted their troops, and there is no more serious crime in the law of war. The Army says they never leave their wounded.
And the Marines say they never leave even their dead. What we need are citizen soldiers at every walk of life who are prepared to say we're not going to leave any American behind.
The 27-year-old lieutenant who came home and spoke to a nation. The senator fighting to make a difference for people. For John Kerry, it's always been the courage to stand up for what's right.
I'm for jobs. I want every American to have the best job possible.
Will there be Social Security for the next generation? Will we finally have health care accessible and affordable for every American?
My vision of America is a place where every kid has the opportunity to have the best education possible. We have to do it.
Fighting for what matters. That's what John Kerry does every day in the Senate. The courage to take on Republican leaders when they tried to cut Social Security and Medicare. The courage to tackle budget deficits, fighting to pass the nation's first balanced budget law.
He knows the value of a dollar. He works right there to balance our budget.
The courage to reach across party lines to improve education and put children first. The co-author of a bipartisan education bill to recruit and keep good teachers and demand accountability in our schools.
Senator Kerry is somebody who is deeply concerned about the future. And if you're deeply concerned about the future, you have to be thinking ahead. You have to talk about investing in children.
When John Kerry speaks, people listen.
They listened when he led the Senate fight to put 100,000 more police on America's streets. When he pushed for a higher minimum wage, job training, and expanded unemployment benefits. When as chairman he wrote a new tax law for small businesses that create jobs and help open the promise of the new economy.
All business, the so-called new and the old economy, are going to have to change. The senators understood that. The senator's been ahead of those trends and has been thoughtful about them.
Staying ahead of the trends, thinking outside the box. Before most in government had heard of acid rain, John Kerry was leading the battle for clean air and water. He's using that same vision today. His 2020 energy plan demands better gas mileage for our cars and supplies 20% of America's energy needs through renewables by the year 2020. That's a vision that makes sense for America and a plan that makes us energy independent without drilling in pristine places.
He's informed. He comes to the table, he knows what he's talking about, he thinks about what's right, and then he engages to make sure that what happens is what needs to happen.
The Arctic Wildlife Refuge is not going to make one drop of oil's difference in the price of oil globally, nor is it going to change our dependency on foreign oil because there isn't enough there to do that.
Environment, I think, was the thing that got us together.
Teresa does this extraordinary work with the environment, with schools, education. I think we're both motivated by that sense of making life better.
It's about people. It's about people's well-being. Whether it is dealing with children and development and education, whether it is dealing with crime, whether it's dealing with prescription drugs or the environment. All of this is about people's lives and their security and their well-being.
For John Kerry, it's about making life better and making a difference for people, like Youth Build.
Youth Build engages young people in rebuilding their communities while going back to school to get their GED or their high school diploma.
Before Youth Build, there was nothing for me. I didn't have any goals. I didn't have any dreams. I didn't think I had a future.
Senator Kerry saw something that he believed in, and he said, I'm going to make this happen for more people.
I mean, without him, there probably wouldn't be a Youth Build right now. I wouldn't be sitting here speaking right now. Who knows where I'd be at right now? I could be in jail or on a block selling. But now Senator Kerry fighting for Youth Build. gave me an opportunity to change my life around.
Changing lives, a commitment to service, values John Kerry learned at an early age.
Both my parents had an enormous influence on me. My dad signed up for the Army Air Corps in its earliest days. He wanted to serve. He thought it was a responsibility and an obligation. I just think I picked it up from them.
And family has stayed an important part of his life.
Kids are without doubt, I think both of us would say this, the best thing either of us would have. I mean, your kids are you. They're what you leave. They're your blood, your guts, your late nights, your hopes.
My sister and I did play sports, and my father was remarkably dedicated. He was at a lot of our games. It was really funny because we would look up in the middle of our game and we'd see this man in, you know, a huge jacket. It'd be sort of the end of fall, and we'd see this man in a huge jacket and a bright orange hunting hat. And we would realize, you know, that 6'4" guy was our dad, and we, you know, after the game would end, and he'd sort of come running out with his arms out for a huge hug, and we'd sort of bypass until he took the orange hat off.
And now, of course, to my great chagrin, he's learning the guitar. To have your husband pick a tune, it's really tough. John loves challenges, period. And if they're fast ones, even better.
Well, I love sports. Well, I mean, I play hockey because it's fun. You just have good camaraderie. It's a challenge. There's a little bit of gladiator in all of us, I think. Wayne Gretzky was asked why he was such a good hockey player. And he said, you know, most guys go to where the puck is, and I go to where the puck is going to be. And that's really itself a statement about the issues you pick to fight on.
John Kerry's fights, the prosecutor who created one of the first rape counseling and victims assistance units in Massachusetts, who eliminated a backlog of 11,000 cases and delivered justice on time. The lieutenant governor who won national action on air and water pollution and who has always fought to hold government accountable.
He's balanced, he's moderate, and he's got the cards.
The senator who had the courage to help expose Iran-Contra and Oliver North's illegal war, who helped develop a plan for peace and democracy in Nicaragua, who warned about the dangers of terrorism long before September 11th, and helped investigate money laundering schemes that fund terrorist groups. Quite simply, few American leaders have the knowledge and foreign affairs experience of John Kerry. A depth of experience that led to a full-scale investigation into soldiers missing in action. The veteran who worked side by side with John McCain to help bring closure to a difficult war.
Vets fighting for vets in this country who really made a difference in those early years.
He knows what it is when we say we need help, but not a handout.
He's a fighter. He doesn't give up. I attribute this to his military training and having to fight for his life.
I was close to the end of my second tour. John Kerry came on board. After the first or second patrol, we knew that, you know, this was somebody special.
After graduating from Yale, John Kerry could have gone anywhere. He chose the Mekong Delta, commanded a swift boat on the rivers of Vietnam. Lieutenant Kerry earned the Bronze Star, 3 Purple Hearts, and the Silver Star for heroism in combat.
One, and some medical supplies. Any time you could come under attack at an ambush or whatever, and when you were out, you had to be on your toes. You had to be awake, alert, and scared to stay alive. While we were up the river, the Viet Cong had planted a mine. It nailed the first boat. Lieutenant Kerry immediately took charge. We conducted a firefight, and you've got 4 boats running around, you know, you know, and mortars and everything else, and it was really a hell of a suppressive fire. Lieutenant Kerry held on, and you know, we finished the operation enough to get the boat out. We all loved him. We all followed him, you know, no matter what his orders or directions, because we knew that he had an unfailing instinct and unchallengeable leadership.
There's a sense after Vietnam that every other day is extra. Every day is extra. And so you live it to the fullest. You feel a sense of empowerment and a permission to say the things that are important and not to, you know, let the chips fall where they may.
Every once in a while, someone comes along with the courage and the character to make a difference.
I would like to see our country challenge itself, the way President Kennedy challenged us in the 1960s when he said, we're going to go to the moon. We need to go to the moon here on Earth. We need to challenge ourselves to use our ingenuity.
The future is really a question of choices. Choices about education, fixing Social Security, having adequate Medicare, providing prescription drugs for seniors. That's what it's all about. That's the fight that we're involved in.
So I'm asking you as you go out of here, I don't care what area it's in, I don't care what party it is, if it's no party, but help us make this country and this world stronger and safer. That's our challenge. That's your challenge. Together, we have to do this.